Hello, everyone. Welcome back to PokeFacts Today. And we all know that feeling when a new Pokemon game is coming out. The joy, the hype. When you wake up in the morning and ask your mom to drive you to the nearest GameStop on release day? But there's always a question you have to ask yourself. Which Pokemon version should I buy? Because most of us aren't millionaires who could just cough up a couple hundred on both games. No, we have to choose one to play. And they always make the two a little bit different, so we have to buy both eventually, or encourage trade with friends so you can catch them all. Today, we're going to discuss the differences of the two games and which one you should buy. But before we continue, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Pokemon content like this. And be sure to leave a comment on what you guys want to see and what we can improve on. We're a young channel still and hope we can make the best content for you guys. A long time ago, Pokemon first released Pokemon Red and Green, the first ever Pokemon games. Later Blue in the West. Why did Pokemon decide to make two games that are essentially the same? Was it to entice people to pay more money for the same game? To encourage playing with friends and trading? The slogan of the game is, gotta catch them all, encouraging the players to catch them all, but most of the time, you can't catch all the Pokemon unless you have both games. There are the exceptions, such as sequel games / third installments of the generation, games like Emerald and Platinum, who will most likely have all Pokemon readily available to the player. And it's no surprise that these games are some of the fan favorites, but they aren't always the best in sales. So it's no surprise Platinum was the last of the third version games. From now on, we've gotten two sequel games, much starting with Black and White 2, instead of what fans wanted, which was Pokemon Gray. Same thing with Pokemon Z and so on. Each version of the game showcased version-exclusive Pokemon that would more often try and entice players to choose that game, or find a friend who has the other version. In Scarlet and Violet, these are no exceptions. We were introduced a month or so back to the version-exclusive Pokemon, Armorogue from Scarlet and Surulege from Violet. And I must say, these two Pokemon are already my favorite. They're so cool and badass. But you can't have both of them, as they are a version exclusive. When I first watched their reveal trailer, I instantly decided on Violet, just for Surulege. That's how important the version exclusive Pokemon are when deciding which version of the game you're going to choose. We also have confirmation on the version exclusive Pokemon for each version. In Scarlet, there will be the Larvitar line, Stonejourner. Remember the giant Stonehenge Pokemon from Sword and Shield? I don't. The new revealed Armorogue, and of course, Koraidon. In Violet, there will be the Bagon line, Ice-Q, Edgelord, Mr. Studio Soul, Cerulege, and of course, Miraidon. Maybe your favorite Pokemon will be exclusive to one version, which will entice you to pick that one. There is also speculation with the reveal of Greavard, the new Ghost-type dog Pokemon. The trailer shows a student from Naranja Academy, the academy set in Pokemon Scarlet, as they investigate the new Pokemon. This could mean that Greavard is a version exclusive. But we'll have to wait and see if that's truly the case. But of course, there are the box legendary Pokemon that are usually exclusive to the particular version. In these games, the box legendaries seem to be more than just that. They are also your mounts. They've really diminished the name legendary by making them mounts. These guys, Miraidon and Koraidon, will be your bicycle, your fly, your swim, and your rock climb. They are essentially your HM slave, but each of them have their differences in design. Miraidon is the cool, futuristic jet-like Pokemon that has the look and feel of a Tron bike, while Koraidon is a prehistoric dinosaur with feathers and wheel-like chest and tail that can... oh wait, he just runs. He doesn't actually use the wheels on his body. The box legendaries are the first Pokemon you see when you buy these games. They are, most of the time, the deciding factor when choosing the games. Charizard was a fan favorite and still is, but having it on the box cover enticed people to buy that game instead of boring Blastoise. Will you get the white dragon or the black dragon? The bird that causes destruction or the deer that restores life? Are you more offensive like Zacian with his cool sword? Or are you more defensive like Zamazenta and its bulky shield? These determine what games you will choose. For me personally, I'm more biased towards Miraidon because he just looks so frickin' cool. And Koraidon is kinda meh, but that's my preference. You may love the prehistoric look and feel to Koraidon and hate the sci-fi Tron bike that is Miraidon. But that also brings us to the next difference between these games. The theme. Pokemon games usually have a theme to their box legendaries or lore surrounding them. Kyogre and the god of the sea with Team Aqua wanting to flood the world, while Groudon is the god of the land and Team Magma wants to dry out the earth so there's more land. There's a completely different theme and storyline to each game. Scarlet and Violet has an interesting theme revolving around the history of the Paldea region. Depending on which games you buy, you will have a different professor. In Scarlet, you will have Professor Professor Sada, who specializes in the research of past and prehistoric Paldea. While in Pokemon Violet, you get Professor Professor Turo. Why'd they make the professor so hot? He specializes in the research of the future of the Paldea region. Now, we're moving into more speculative area as this information hasn't been revealed yet, so please take all of this with a grain of salt. But along with regional and regular forms, we are getting paradox forms. You may or may not have heard of this, but it's been leaked quite a bit that certain Pokemon will be receiving paradox forms. Now, these forms are based on the past prehistoric version of the Pokemon in Scarlet and the futuristic version of the Pokemon in Violet. The Pokemon leaks so far receiving these forms are as followed. In Pokemon Scarlet, Jigglypuff, Amongoose, Volcarona, Salamence, Donphan, Misdreavus, Magneton, and Suicune, which is believed to be a DLC Pokemon. In Pokemon Violet, we have Delibird, Gallade, Volcarona, again, Tyranitar, Donphan, again, Hariyama, Xylus, and Virizion, again a speculated DLC Pokemon. Now, I'm pretty excited to see these paradox forms. Of course, Pokemon like Tyranitar and Salamence, which will be in different games, but their paradox forms will be featured in the other games, which is really cool. Volcarona and Donphan are receiving some love having forms in both games, while some legendary Pokemon like Suicune and Virizion are being introduced, potentially in DLC. These types aren't revealed yet, but there is still speculation on which Pokemon are getting which type. The last tidbit of information regarding the two differing versions is the Academy itself and your character. In Scarlet, you will be attending Naranja Academy, which is just orange in Spanish. I hope you like the colors orange and red. The uniforms will also have orange and red accents. In Violet, you will be attending Uva Academy, which means grape in Spanish. Your uniform will also feature purple accents. Who would have thought? Going into the video, you may have already had a favorite among the two versions, but hopefully this video will help shed some light on all of the differences between the games. I hope we help better your judgment when it finally comes the day you choose your version of the game. It's almost like choosing your starter. Please let us know what game you are choosing and why down in the comments. I know I'll be choosing Violet, but for now, we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.